Hello and welcome back. So today we're under the bonnet. We're going to be taking a look at the engine cover, more specifically the colour of the engine cover. I've always thought that this was a bit of a weird one because it's grey, like a light grey, and it shows up the dirt and it looks really manky and horrible. And what I wanted to do was to darken it to sort of match the sort of mood and the tone of the car. So today I'm going to be throwing some spray paint around. I'm going to be darkening the engine cover and making it all sort of tie in.
Yo, it's Slick Rick, spanner in hand. On the drive with a real one stand. Fix a beamer, tweak it up, V-dub. Save your cash, don't need the club. We got talk, really got band up. WD-40 like holy water from the canister. Oil stains, badger pride. We're wrenching hard on the curbside.
We are back in the garage today. Excuse the vest, it's a little bit warm today, so I'm absolutely boiling. But today is another video, we've got another update. And today we're going to be underneath the bonnet. I've got some new parts, so let's go and check them out. I think a lot of the time when it comes to like doing stuff on the car and whatever, you know, when you do modifications and stuff, it's nice to have a bit of a sort of colour theme. And the car is black, you know, the interior is like it's like a light grey sort of colour. I think it kind of has the sort of bare bones of a bit of a sort of theme, which I'm kind of going to run with for a little bit. So last week we changed the wheels, and I've been living with them for a week now. And to be fair, I did have to get the arch roller out, and I just had to just pull the rears out just a little bit, not pull them out, but like just roll that inner lip up a little bit, just to give the tyres just a little bit more space. They were just catching, and it's absolutely perfect now. So that's great. I've been driving on them for a week, done a few miles, and it's all good. I think, and I've been sort of thinking about the engine bay and what sort of upgrades and changes we can make there. And the one thing that always kind of stood out to me was the engine cover. You know, I don't want to do too much to the engine because I quite like how the engine runs. It's reliable, you know, it performs well and does everything it's supposed to do. But I would like to just change the aesthetics just a little bit. And I think that's what, well, I've gone out and purchased a new engine cover. So I don't know if you know too much about the N62 BMW. There appears to be, well, mine's a 2004. It's got the grey engine cover. Now, it kind of stands out like a sore thumb. Now, you'd think I just talked about like themes and grey and black and stuff like that, but for me, it's just a big old chunk of grey. It's a bit too much. I'd like to either paint it. Oh, excuse me. I'd like to either paint it or see what options are available. Now, there were a few options online. There was one that was hydro dipped. Exactly the right engine cover, but it was hydro dipped in like carbon fibre sort of texture and lacquered to within an inch of its life, and it looked fantastic, but the price tag was pretty horrific, to be fair, so I kind of discounted that. But what I did get, it looks like from the later N62 and from the E63 E64s with the same engine, or the 550s, or the 5 litre engine, which is the N62 again, but just with bigger cylinders. They did do a different engine cover, which was black, and that is what I have here. I've picked up a new engine cover, and you can see it's a bit grotty. You know, it needs a bit of a clean and stuff, but the missus has just gone out. I'm going to go into the kitchen now and give these a clean, so I don't get into any trouble. So let's get on with that, shall we? I did actually as well, before we get started on that, I did get the side pieces as well. I did get the rocker cover pieces as well, and they have actually cleaned up really well. They're still quite like a light silver and stuff like that, but what I want to try to do is, I don't know if you remember in the last video, I said I wanted to kind of go maybe a dark anthracite grey on the wheels when I put them on. I've got a load of spray paint ready to go that's dark grey, so what I might do is I'm going to maybe blow over the front of these with a bit of silver, just to kind of fill in any of the scratches that you might or might not be able to see. Just a few like little marks, there's nothing serious. These already have been washed and they've come up superbly clean, which is why I'm trying to not really handle them too much, because they're literally ready for me to chuck some paint on. So yeah, if I spray paint this up, this area, and then mask it, which is going to be a bit of a trick, but I'm going to put loads of tape on the front, get my knife in there and just go through everything else, and then I'm going to go over it again with the dark anthracite grey and peel it all off, and it should look brand new, to be fair, and it should tie in with the theme of the car quite nicely. And then for the other one, so I'll just put these up there, and for the bigger one, so hopefully this thing cleans up just as well. If you flip it over, you've got a series of lugs on the inside, so they go through, and that's what attaches to the engine to keep it all together. But these little like clippy things, if you sort of squeeze them out, you should be able to remove all this sound deadening, which is absolutely disgusting. And we should be able to separate what is silver and what is black, because they do actually come apart. So ideally, if we can get it separated, that'd be perfect, because then I can just paint this in the dark grey, have that black, put it all back together again, hopefully clean that up a little bit because it is absolutely minging, and that'll be it. And then it's just a nice instant transformation, nice quick easy fix. But what I will say is, on the other engine cover, we've got these little things here. Now this is completely factory, it has not been messed with at all, and they're supposed to be for the is it the Steptronic motors, the two little things that stick off the top. I'll try and capture a video when I take the engine cover off, but they're literally like two cylinders sat on either bank. They stick out the top, and these are supposed to be ventilation, but look at them, they're literally blocked. There's no air getting through them, so I'm going to open them up a little bit as well, just so there's a little bit of ventilation for it, because apparently they're prone to cooking, because the engine always runs really hot because of V8. So yeah, that's pretty much what the video is going to be about. Like I said before, excuse the vest, it is warm. I'm absolutely boiling today, and it's not even that warm, it's only 20 degrees today, and it's absolutely roasting. So I've just put that down, hands are dirty already, and I've only literally just been touching it, so I'm going to get cracking and stick it in the sink and give it a bit of a wash. In fact, what I might do is separate it first. Yeah, I'll do that. Right, let's get started. So it's dead simple to take this engine cover off. It's just an Allen key, 4 Allen key bolts at the top. So this is the current engine cover. Same sort of setup, bit of sound deadening in there, those little clips, and then the lugs which attach to the top of the engine. I think what I'm going to do, while you're just comparing as well, these are the ventilation things for here on each bank. Again, I think I did say it was the, what do they call it, a Steptronic or something, I think it is. Come on, there they are. It's not exactly clean under here, but it is honest and it is dry, so I will take that. That's a win. So yeah, that motor there and that motor there, they both are supposed to have a little bit of ventilation, and they don't with the current with the new engine cover, so I need to just open that up a little bit. I don't think it fits. I'll apologise now if you can hear my son talking about FIFA 25, I do apologise. He's literally in the window just up there. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to take this one apart, I am going to give it a clean, and I am going to throw a bit of paint on it because, well, I might as well, to be fair. I think it'll look better. So what I need to do is remove this centre section, and you do that again by just undoing these clips, and it should all just come apart. So I think the clips are only holding in the soundproofing, and then the little bit down the middle should be held in just on the underside. So hopefully this should just be a case of just lifting these things out, but you never know. when it comes to old parts, they can put up a bit of a fight. They're meant to only go one way. I don't think they're meant to come apart, but see if we can tempt it without ripping all the soundproofing. Okay, so the ones at the back, they came off with a bit of a fight. The ones at the front just popped straight off. And I'm now in the position to get rid of that soundproofing. Yes, and that does reveal the little clips underneath, which just need little tabs, which just need folding back, and that should then release the front piece. So that's going to be the next bit. I use it all the time, this thing, it's great. So we just need to get that into a position where all the lugs are kind of straight, and then from the other side just give it a little bit of a pry from this underside here. It should start to lift, he says. Is this where you find out that it's glued? Maybe. So what I will say about this is it's really, really delicate. It's a painted like aluminium piece, so you've got to be super careful when you're trying to get underneath it. If you get these little lugs really, really straight, it does just pop out, but it's a little bit butt twitchy as to whether it's actually going to do it or not. So you just got to persevere, and also as well, if you kind of try to push it past the point of its sort of comfort zone, because it's a soft piece of metal, it will bend. And it might get all sort of disfigured and stuff. So what I might do is try and give it a bit of a push from the underside. See if we can just pop these things out. I might just get a little hammer and tap it or something. Oh, there we go. I don't know if you saw that. So from there, you just get the back of your handle, give it a little tap, it starts to come out. Oops, that one's starting to bend. I don't want to work it back and forth too much because it'll end up snapping. Like that. God damn it. There's always one. Jesus. Anyway, so if we flip it over, we should be looking like this now. And it should just pop off. So I'm going to give that a bit of a wipe over, just so it's clean when we go back on. Well, that's essentially it. I'm annoyed about that though. I might see if I can just get that through a little bit and just give it a bit of a, just so it grips and it doesn't stick up afterwards, because that'll just bug me. You see what I mean about the prise in it a little bit? It does sort of disform it and disfigure it a little bit, but it is very, very easy to put it back. So just kind of, if you want it looking mint, just keep an eye on that. Make sure your sort of profiles down the side look good and whatever. So here we are, we're at the sink. This is where we do all the washing of the crappy bits. Now look at the size of this thing, it doesn't exactly fit in the sink, does it? But what I'm going to do, initially, I've got some Swarfiga, which is heavy duty hand cleaner. It gets rid of like oil, grime, grease and oil-based paints, which is great. So it's heavy duty, you just bang your hands in. This is what I did for the other side panels, and I just literally smeared it all on everywhere because I wanted just to give everything a bit of a degreasing, and then I'll take it outside and give it a hose. So I've done all the edges and I've just literally chucked it on the grass, and I'm going to leave that for maybe 10 to 15 minutes to just do its thing, and then I will hose it down and we should be good once it's all dried out. So while that's just hung up to dry, so all the moisture and all the water droplets drop to the bottom, I've just given it a quick wipe over with some blue roll just to kind of take the majority off. But while that's going to dry, I'm just going to give the car a quick wash. So the engine cover's had a little bit of time now to dry out, and it's looking super clean to be fair, and I'm just going to go straight in with some plastic primer on top just to give it a bit of a base coat for the top layer to stick to. But as you can see, I have just chucked down some sheets just so we don't get any overspray on anything. I've made a makeshift stand out of 2 ramps and cable tied them together like that, so it should be nice and sturdy, sorted. And then our engine cover, there we go. Is it in the middle? It's in the middle. So I've got my plastic primer, just going to give it a bit of a shake. Looking pretty even, and there ain't too much from the colouring from what it was previously showing through either, which is great. That's probably enough for what I need. Quite like it in light grey, to be honest with you. Be nice to keep some light grey details, like I was saying about before about colour coding. I think what I'm going to do, I've got some stove and barbecue paint. Now, it might not be the best thing to do, but indoors and outdoor use. And it says here on the back, it says it's matte black, it's quick drying, highly adhesive, it's very good adhesion and filling power, temperature resistant up to 300 degrees C, which is great for under the bonnet, and gives it a rough sort of textured surface, which is probably ideal, to be fair. So, if the cap's anything to go off, which they aren't usually, to be fair, but if it dries anywhere near that, I'll be quite happy. It's just something I had lying around on the shelf. Same as the plastic primer, to be fair. It's been sat on the shelf for a while, so it's a good excuse to use some paint up, and then we can buy some more, paint some more stuff. Anyway, here we go. Okay, I think that's enough of a base. I'm going to go in a little bit heavier now. Now it is looking like it's giving it a bit of a texture, which is quite cool. Let's go again. I'm not quite doing like half turns either, I'm doing like kind of quarter turns just so we get a good coverage everywhere. There's lots of like creases and indents and stuff, and I want to make sure we get paint in all the corners. And even though I've got the garage door open, bloody hell, it stinks. So make sure you're well ventilated. Ideally, the sun would be the sun would be shining, it could be drying outside, but good old UK weather, never mind. There's a little bit of texture to it, which is kind of nice. Pretty good coverage everywhere. So I'm going to leave that to dry, and I might attack the sides, the rocker covers, and mask them up ready for painting. Need a wash first though, so I'm going to go and do that. Not me, the parts.
The parts have been washed now and they're free of grease and any sort of dirt and things like that, so I've just got busy and started laying down some masking tape. Now it doesn't have to be perfect, but a nice little tip for you: if you keep the overlaps to a minimum, it'll make it easier for when you go to cut it out later on.
That has nearly just taken me like an hour to get to that point. That is crazy. I hope this is worth it. Let's get some paint down. I've got the other side to do yet, but might as well start. Great. So that'll do. Gone a little bit heavy in a couple of places, but I think when it's dried out it should level out, hopefully. And again, like last time, we've got that little bit of a texture going on, which is quite cool. Second one's ready. Okay, so I'm about to start peeling some of these letters off. Let's have a see. It's either worked or it's gone really bad. We'll find out in a minute. And now the moment you've all been waiting for. I know it's the moment I've been waiting for. I hope it works out alright. That's a strong start. I am actually like genuinely buzzing how that came out. I think that looks ace. Boom! That is awesome. These are going to look so good when they're on and installed. Now, when I was cleaning the car before, I did give the engine bay a bit of a blast, so it's nice and clean in there. It's still a little bit wet. Nothing too serious, but it's a little bit cleaner now, so it looks good. I think you can already tell at this point that these already look wicked against that dark bodywork of the car and the other black bits that's going on in the engine bay. Aha. So all we need to do is line up that soundproofing, put our little lugs in place, and then using a socket just slightly bigger than the plastic that's going onto, just give it a shove. And that's it. So that times 4. And one thing I do need to do before I permanently put this back down is I need to make sure that this goes in place on the underside, and then those tabs just need to come down. So I'm going to do that first, and then I'm going to put all the little washers back on, and then big reveal time. So I think that's it for the video today. I'm pretty pleased with how that came out. I think it was a worthwhile thing doing. I've wanted it dark under the engine bay for such a long time. It looks great now, and hopefully it won't pick up too many scratches and stuff like that, and it should look good for a while. Yes, I could have done a better job, and yes, I definitely could have done a worse job. Like I said, I'm pretty pleased. I wasn't striving for perfection. Perfection doesn't exist. I'm happy with how that came out. Hopefully you're inspired to do something similar, just to get on and have a go. And yeah, I think that's it for this video. I'm going to wrap up there, and hopefully see you again soon.
Oil stains, badger pride. We're wrenching hard on the curbside. On the drive, come take a ride. Keep your motor moving with some pride. Mods upgrades, cheeky repairs with slick Rick, you're in good care. Track day vibes, we don't stall. Pit lane dreams with a half a tool. Tune in now, go on, have a go. Keep it rolling like a pro. Rust in the arch, no drama. Bit of elbow grease, no need for alarma. Trauma lance, MOT due, chill, relax. I got tips for dodge.
In the garage under the bright light, Slick Rick's got the tools ready to ignite. With a wrench in hand, he shares his know-how. Teaching the world, come on, let's get it now. Oil changes, brakes, and mufflers too. He's breaking it down, showing what to do.